You see? I could plant these right now. I could. So today I'm going to tell you a story about the first time I saved seeds. It's a new video series that I'm trying out called Farm Nerd Stories. Farm Nerd Stories and Experiments, maybe. I'm still working out the name. Okay, so I am a farming nerd. What I mean by that is that I may have attended a plethora of farm-based environmental conferences, have co-led a student farm at my alma mater, have interned for various farming organizations like Farm School NYC, Oko Farms, just aquaponics farms. Have written various papers connecting farming, citizenship, and the American dream, things like that. I am just all about farming. I have been on this career path for a very long time, and it's also just been something that's very fascinating to me. Food in general has been a part of my life in so many different ways. I'm sure everyone can relate to that. I am starting to realize that I may want to hold off on my farming career for a little bit and pick it back up just later in my life, because I just want to try out some new things for a while. But I do still want to hark in on the skills and lessons that I've learned from this amazing career path that I have started to embark on, because I do believe that it's very important to know how to properly interact with the earth in a way that nourishes you. So I'm starting this Farm Nerd series, and I'm going to start it off with this experiment that I did successfully. I have always been very nervous about saving seed, because saving seed is just saving seed to me at least is this very sacred kind of process. You're just saving life for later. I don't know, it's just this really cool concept. I wanted to look back at my Farming While Black book by Leah Penniman. Leah Penniman. It's an amazing book. I actually haven't gotten through all of it yet, but I've gone through a big chunk of it. I think she does a really great job describing the kind of feeling of starting to save seed. She has a whole chapter in here. Chapter 8 is called Seed Keeping. Okay, and that's on page 149. If you have your book, follow along. I really want this to be interactive. So please interact with me, in the comments or something, wherever. Okay, I just want to get to the section where she talks about saving seed for the first time. Okay, here she goes. Okay, there's a section in the Keeping Seed chapter in Farming While Black by Leah Penniman called The Seed Garden. And it goes, even after a decade of farming, I was intimidated by the idea of saving seed. I imagined that the people who packed seeds into those tiny paper envelopes and mailed them to me each year had some secret, inaccessible magic to make those seeds viable. I did not trust myself not to ruin the life force potential of these tiny beings of possibility. Of course, I realized that I had internalized the corporate messaging of agricultural mega corporations, which try to get us to believe that we're not good enough to steward our genetic heritage. I was wrong. As Chris Bolden Newsom affirmed, our ancestral grandmothers did not have a seed catalog. They had to do, and they did, and we are here. And then she goes into a bunch of other things that she did. But basically the sentiment at the very beginning of this chapter section is, I don't know, saving seed is just it can be pretty nerve-wracking, because you don't want to do it wrong, and then then you just wasted time and energy, and the poor seeds didn't survive, and they could have, and so Anyway, so I saved seed last year. As a student, I was one of the two leaders of the student-run farm. The farmer who I took over for when I came in that year. Like, she also worked on the farm and she would come back all the time, and she had this pumpkin squash. She had this pumpkin squash that she gave me 2 of them because she was also working at another farm. Now that I think about it, I could do a whole video about the perks of like this career field, honestly, the pros and cons. But anyway, she would just bring us produce, and one point she just bring us these delicious, like, on the last pumpkin squash that I had, I was like, I need to have these pumpkin squash again. Like, there's no way I can just like live with these for one season of my life ever, because they were so good. And so I decided to try to save the seeds, and what I didn't record it at the time, but what I did was just took the seeds from the pumpkin, washed them, and then I spread them out and just laid them out to dry. And then once they were fully, and I laid them out to dry on kind of like a sheet pan or just on like paper towel. Once they were fully dry, I just like put them into an envelope, put them in a plastic bag, and put them out of direct sunlight. And so I put them in a shady place, because everything that I read about seed saving is that you don't want them in direct sunlight. Like, you don't want them wet or in any type of element that would help it to grow. And then I did the seed germination experiment, which is super simple. All you do is take a paper towel, you take a damp paper towel, and then you put like 10 seeds in there or whatever, and then you fold the damp paper towel. You might have to wet it a little bit more after you squeeze it out, but you just don't want the paper towel like dripping wet. Like, it just should be nice and moist and damp. And then you put the seeds on there, and then you fold it in half, and then you put it in a Ziploc bag, and then you just kind of put it in a shady place, as if, because the whole point of that is that you kind of want to convince the seeds that they're in like the dirt. And at first they just weren't germinating at all, and then I added more water, and then a few days later they started germinating. You could do this test just to see if you save seed correctly, and it looks like I did. Yeah! I'm so excited. Look at that! The roots are like really growing. It's crazy in here. Oh my god. This is incredible. Oh gosh. Cool. This is so cool. I could plant these right now. Look at that. I could. I just want to put these in some water and see what happens. What do you guys think? So, I'm putting them in this water for now. And I'm honestly, I don't know what's gonna happen. But I'm very curious to see if they continue to grow as I keep them in the sunlight. This is a little while later, maybe a week and a half. But I basically left them in this water, kind of like as the experiment, and some of them started to grow. Some of the seeds they just look weird, and honestly it smells really bad, and I don't know if they're gonna grow anymore. So I would not advise for you to do this. No one had ever suggested that I do this. So this was just kind of like an experiment. I may have stunted the growth, and you don't want to stunt your seedlings' growth. Like, that's bad. Always. So don't do this potentially, but we're we're going
listening what not to do.
But I am planning on planting these outside still as seedlings. So we will see. We'll see what happens throughout the season, but for this video,
stay tuned.
We'll see, yeah. But oh, it doesn't smell good. This one.
What makes that one the best?
It just looks the best. It started to sprout
Leaves.
Yeah, it's leaves. It has leaves, and this was connected to it at one point, but it just fell off. But we're gonna see if this grows into something now that I'm putting it in its optimal living environment. Which is what I should have done after they sprouted in the tissue paper, but I didn't do that. I did this instead. Do you see it? It's right here. That's it. Oh, good luck. Good luck, seedling.